it doesn't matter what the frickin' legal and ethics people say. We need to win this motherfucker.
Unless you've been living under a rock or watching CNN over the last week, you've probably seen the bombshell Project Veritas videos that have been sweeping YouTube and social media the last few days. The content in these videos is disturbing, and the evidence reinforces the growing perception that the Hillary campaign and the DNC is a dark spiderweb of crime and corruption. Not only has the video been blacked out and censored on social media and Reddit, which I proved in a video linked below, the mainstream media denies the videos are real and claims they are doctored with no evidence of any of the events actually taking place. They claim it's out of context barroom talk, and are now saying that even if the video is real, they must have just been talking about hypothetical events and that there is no reason to believe they ever actually took place.
We don't know how this video was gotten. We don't know how it was edited. We don't know whether this was locker room talk. But here's the thing. The DNC says that they have no evidence to suggest that the activities articulated in the video actually occurred.
Here are multiple pieces of smoking gun evidence that have been discovered in just a couple days by various Reddit users pouring through documents and doing the investigative work that the mainstream media should be doing. These new revelations should be making headlines, but won't because the media's blackout of this video and the denial from the White House and Hillary Clinton, who called it a conspiracy theory after the debate.
You know, I know nothing about this. I'm not, I can't deal with every one of his conspiracy theories.
First, let's look at a couple emails. Remember Zulema Rodriguez? Here she is bragging about shutting down the Trump rally in Chicago, where people, including police officers, were hurt.
So, me and I did the Chicago Trump event where we shut down the light bulbs. Yeah.
One thing that stands out is she claims to speak to Hillary's campaign and the DNC every day at 1 o'clock.
I just had a call with the campaign and the DNC. Every day at 1 o'clock.
Now let's go to WikiLeaks and take a look at an email found in the batch of leaked DNC emails. This one from May 2016. Here we find an email sent by Robert Creamer, who is featured in both videos, to another DNC worker, reminding her about the 1 o'clock Trump rapid response phone call that must be made, discussing an upcoming Trump and Pence rally. This matches the activities he described in the hidden camera footage.
And my role with the campaign is to manage all that.
But it doesn't stop there. Digging into the Elections Commission payroll records online, which is not leaked information but material that is openly available, we find payments made to Zulema Rodriguez directly by Hillary's campaign right around the time of the Chicago riots. This shatters the big media lie that these people are not directly involved or controlled by Hillary's campaign. Bob Creamer, who sent the email discussing the calls and resigned after this video came out, met with Obama regularly and has visited the White House hundreds of times, which is verifiable through the White House visitor logs. And now the cherry on top. Here we have footage of Zulema at the Chicago rally that was shut down due to violence, clearly working very hard for $1,500. And then more footage in Arizona where protesters shut down the highway, as she also boasted about in the video. Here it appears she is faking a medical emergency for the cameras. We're not done yet. Now another very interesting email. This conversation between various DNC workers on May 10th discusses phrases and language they intend to put on signs to maximize outrage among Trump supporters, like GOP plus Trump, dangerous, divisive, and deceitful. And once again, Mr. Creamer makes an appearance, and they discuss the fact that they have been speaking to him about planning an incident at an upcoming Trump event. Now let's go to a clip posted by CNN just a day after this conversation. Pay attention to the signs in the background.
What they're trying to say, actually, really railing on the issue of immigration reform.
If that wasn't enough, see if you can spot someone who looks familiar here. Does anybody recognize him? Let me jog your memory.
There he is. So what was going on for the past hour was a very, very limited meeting.
So I'm basically Deputy Rapid Response Director for the DNC for all things Trump on the ground.
This guy is Aaron Black. He works full-time for Creamer at Democracy Partners. He directs the spontaneous protests at Trump and Pence events.
There's also an article from 6 months ago, published by ABC News, that at the time had no hard evidence behind it. where somebody speaks out about being hired to incite violence at a Trump rally, responding to an ad on Craigslist. It's just another piece to put on the growing pile of evidence that the Hillary Clinton campaign and the DNC are in fact tampering with the election. Now that the pieces of the puzzle are falling into place, there is no reason why this story should not be the #1 story in America right now. The narrative that Project Veritas is producing misleading, out of context and edited footage is blatantly proven false. And that is the idea the media and the White House are pushing as we speak. Now we need to force the media to report on this story. It is not only extremely immoral what the Clinton campaign and the DNC are doing, but it's tampering with an election. And whether you're a Trump supporter, a Hillary supporter, or a third-party candidate supporter, there's no arguing that this is rigging the election. And Obama's little White House speech calling people crazy for talking about it is a joke. Why can the White House claim that Russia's tampering with the election when they are the victims, and then claim it's all an unfounded conspiracy theory when others say it? So show this video to anybody that doubts Project Veritas, and tweet it to mainstream media outlets, and maybe we can force them to address this. There's now no denying what is going on, and the people behind it need to be held accountable. So far, there has been no sign of any charges or investigation on these people. In fact, CNN is now calling for an investigation into Project Veritas because they're upset James O'Keefe was able to obtain hidden camera footage.
It's unprecedented.
No, I'm saying, we have mentally ill people that we pay to do shit. Make no mistake. Over the last 20 years, I've paid off a few homeless guys to do some crazy stuff, and I've also taken them for dinner, and I've also made sure they had a hotel and a shower, and I put them in a program. Like, I've done that.